Hello and welcome back in another episode of our new Horizonty Film Festival studio. I'm here today with my guest Heleny Stefánsdóttir, the director of movie Natatorium. Hello.
Hi.
Okay, so just to start, a very basic and common questions. What was the idea behind your movie, your inspiration, and what the very beginning of production of that movie looked like?
It started maybe 10 or 12 years ago, where I had a short film script to a short film about two siblings, teenage siblings who kind of fall in love. And then somehow I never produced that film. I've done 6 short films before because I felt that this story needed more context around it. And then I started to write a script for a feature film around that little story of these siblings. And that's how it started. And then because I'm very interested in human behavior and this abnormalities and obsessions and borderline behavior, that somehow came into my film in the various characters. And yeah, I basically just did what the story asked for. It has to be bigger, and that's how it happened.
Okay, and we see that that relation about that reflection of that twin story in Natatorium in the characters of Vala and Kali.
Yeah.
Because they have this very intimate relation, right?
Yes, they do. Yeah, it's in them. They are very intimate and very close to each other, almost like one person. And almost like as if they were in love. And the scene with them in the bed is like on the verge of being a couple in love, but it's siblings that love each other. But also in the teenagers with Lilji and David.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So these two couples are kind of a mixture of this couple that was in my first script.
Okay, but we have some more couples, of course, the granny Aurora,
yeah.
and Grimur, and on the other side, father, the Magnus, and his wife,
yeah.
who is planning to abandon.
Yeah.
So it's like a movie about like this family and couples relations, and there are not very very nice, very good, because there are some mystery. I would like to ask, what did you decide put that whole story in that a little bit of horror genre, in that very dark, and also very blue movie, if we talk about colors?
I think because the syndromes that I started to work with the grandmother having the Munchausen by proxy syndrome, which is a person that keeps another person sick. Okay. And then Kalle, being addicted to asphyxiation. These were the syndromes that I came across when I was doing research about different things. And they are so horrifying. It's horrifying to want to keep another person sick, and it's horrifying to want to asphyxiate, to drown yourself. That I think that's where the horror came from. And then when I decided that they would have to be staying within the whole house the whole time, that became very claustrophobic, and it added to the horror that there's no, and because of the intensity of the relationship, nobody can escape the house somehow. The house is like a monster. So I think the horror just it just emerged out of these characters and the story. It's not. I didn't start out deciding that I wanted to write horror or drama or thriller. It just is born by itself somehow.
And it plays very well. It's like a very good horror movie along just the story,
yeah.
Which is also amazing, right? And I would like to ask about that house, because I read in your previous interview that it was built in studio, right? Can you tell more about it?
Yeah, when I had like almost the final draft of the script, I realized that the house had to be in a certain way, the villa, and I'm very inspired by this woman filmmaker whose name is Maya Deren, who's from the early last century, like 30s and 40s in New York. And she works with space a lot and choreography. And I myself was a dancer before I started to make film. So choreography within the space is really important to me. And I cannot escape it. It's just, yeah, it's just there and it's part of me. So I felt that this house needed to be in a certain way for the actors to move within it, and for you to be able to stand on the balcony and see what's going on downstairs, seeing from the kitchen into the living room, feeling the other rooms, and also with the fireplace, feeling the kitchen and stuff. And then I started to look for locations, and I didn't find any. I did a lot of scouting, and I was just never content. And I always felt, okay, I have to compromise so much if I don't do it like I have it in my mind. And this story just really asked for this house. And then we just decided to, yeah, let's just build it. And we built it in a studio. We built a 2-story house. I delivered my idea to the production designer. He drew it and he made a 3D model of it, and then they rigged up a house for me. It's great.
You also have the pool, or
Yeah.
it was in some other like studio?
No,
or?
the pool is in is on location. It's
Okay.
It's a private house somewhere close to Reykjavik, and we just dressed it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a normal white pool with blue everything, you know. So we dressed the art department dressed it in black.
And speaking about a pool, and so on, and water, and about swimming, the movie title Natatorium. I know that in English it means something like a swimming pool, but I wonder, why did you choose this exactly title for your movie?
It was because when I was having it translated from Icelandic to English, the title of the movie was like just Till Death Do Us Part or something like that. But the translator, she said, I cannot translate, this cannot be the English title. It works in Icelandic, but somehow I don't feel it's correct. I can't feel a title. I can't find a title for it in English. And then we started to research, and basically she found this word, and I think it's just such a beautiful word, and it kind of portrays the film, because in water you can't breathe. If you're underwater you can't breathe, and that's the feeling that I wanted to grasp in the house. Like, nobody can breathe, everybody's holding their breath. So I was like, yeah, that's a good word, let's keep it. It doesn't work really well in Icelandic because nobody knows what it means, and people are like, what does it mean? But I like it, and some of my previous films, the short films, have French names, French titles, like Pas de Trois is one of my films' name, and Bon Appetit. You know, I'm a bit fond of French and Latin somehow. And Natatorium is Latin, yeah.
And Natatorium is also a little bit, it has this magic and some this dark vibe in it. So yeah, that's a good name. Yeah. Good title for a movie. I would also like to ask about the work with actors, because we see some maybe not drastic but quite violent scene there, especially I'm talking about drowning, of course. How the work with the actors with that type of scenes looked like?
Yeah, I work very intensely with the actors. My starting point is that I give them space to fly. I don't want to impose anything onto them. I'm just there to support them and give them wings to fly. And for me, it's very important that when we come on set, they know their lines 100%. There's no changing the lines on set. But everything else can be, you know, if we feel that we want to move in a certain way, yeah, please do that, and blah, blah. So they come on set very secure. And my rehearsals with the actors are more like analyzing why does it do it, where does it come from, why does this make sense, and what's your relationship, and you know, and how do you feel? How does the character feel on that point? What has happened before? That's how I work, and more than just rehearsing you know, first you go there and then you go there and then you go there. And so when they come into set, they're very secure, both about how the character feels, where it has been, where they have been, where they're going, what has happened, how do they feel about the other characters and all that. And I gave them also space to work together. Like the siblings, they knew each other really well, and the father and the daughter knew each other really well. They knew, for instance, where the mother was. There's no mother. The mother of Lilji is not there. We never talk about her. But Lilji, the actress and the actor, their father, they know where she is. I don't know.
Okay.
They made a story.
Okay.
Why she left, where did she go, has they been in touch with her, and blah, blah, blah. So all these little things. But I don't know everything.
Okay, so it's like a little bit like story in story.
Yes,
Okay.
for them. Just so that they know when they look into each other's eyes, I don't have a mother and it's your fault, or you don't have a mother and she abused me, or whatever. You know, they have this dynamic, and I think that's extremely important. And also the grandmother, for instance, she has a backstory. She made up where she comes from, why does she have Munchausen by proxy, what happened to her, what is her trauma. I don't know. I don't have that information. She does. So when she's acting out on her post-trauma effect, then she knows why she's doing it. She knows what happens to her. And she knows if she has tried to seek help or not, if she wants to seek help, you know, all that she knows. Yeah. And I think it's also important to make drama, like, I mean, in like acting, not drama, like as in, you know, drama, how to explain? Okay. To make the art of acting, the art of drama is very important to me. And I wanted actors to have that. And I think that's beautiful for actors, to have the chance to do the art of acting.
Speaking of that, what was the workload between you and your daughter, who played the leading role? It was maybe hard for you because it's like not only mother-daughter relation, but also director-actor.
Yeah, I mean, it was just really, really easy. She's such a great person, and we have a really good relationship with no complications whatsoever. There's no knots between us that we need to untie. I mean, there was this like one incident where it was a bit tense. It was when she was playing the cello. She's not a cello player, she plays the violin. And she had to learn this piece, and it was very hard for her. And the cello teacher had to teach her how to hold the bow and do the movement. And I wanted her to look like a cello player. And then when she was doing it on set, because she's playing the piece for real, and it was really bad. So she felt bad, and she got insecure, and then she got irritated, and she took it out on me because I'm her mother. That was the only time. If I would have been someone else, then she would not have shown to me, you know. But we figured it out, and we just had everybody leave the room, and I could, you know, tell her, nobody cares if you're not a good cello player. Nobody cares, don't worry.
Yeah. But speaking of cello, is also the music, which is the big part and this vibe-making thing in your movie. I wonder, why did you choose specifically the cello, not some other instruments?
Yeah, it was very deliberate for me, because the tone of the cello is melancholic and dramatic. It's deep and dark, almost like a pool water, and I really wanted that kind of tone. So when when we hired the composer, I told him the main tone of this film is the cello tone. It's a melancholic, deep, dark purple color of music. And then I wanted the girl to play the theme of the house. Somehow I felt, okay, she comes into the house, she doesn't know anything about what's going on, she's just curious, but without knowing it, she's playing the music of the house. She's creating it, and I found that very fascinating. Yeah, so that's how that came. She had to play the cello.
Just cello.
Yes.
Okay, so That was the last question
Yeah,
from me.
okay.
Thank you very much for our talk, and I hope we can see you in next year's here at New Horizons, New Horizons Film Festival. So thank you very much. Heleny Stefánsdóttir, the director of movie Natatorium.